Chapter 14. Lauren. Camaraderie. Noun. A feeling of mutual trust and friendship among persons in a group. Use in a sentence. I enjoy the camaraderie I share with V, Sadie, and Becca, even when we're chasing runaway dogs, wearing puffy old-fashioned dresses, and shopping at UGG. Party me hearties. Zach, let's go already. I have a ton of stuff to do before I have to be back at the marina this afternoon. I give his bedroom door a good kick. Maybe too good of a kick because I forgot I was wearing flip-flops and ended up whacking the hard wooden door with my bare toes. I hop up and down as I wait for him to answer. Go away. So I pound with my fist. You promised you'd drive me over to the library. Take the golf cart and leave me alone. Jerk. I give the door one last good thump and turn on my heels toward the garage. Why do I get stuck with the lazy brother who can't get up in time to drive me to the other end of the island? I mean, it's not like it's the crack of dawn or anything. It's 10 o'clock. But considering I was woken up by music blasting from his room at 3 a.m., I guess I shouldn't be surprised he's still asleep. I pull out of the garage just as Mom drives in. She rolls down her window and blinks at me with bleary eyes. She got called into emergency surgery last night, which ended up taking hours. Her curly hair is starting to frizz, and she runs a hand over it as she asks, Where are you going? Party errands. Can't you ask Zach to drive you? Zach is still asleep. I've been up since 7. I decided a long time ago that the most successful people get up early every day, even on weekends. Mom's always asking me if I get enough sleep, but I'm going to do better than Zach or Josh, then sleep can wait. Then what about your bike? Mom asks. Too much to carry, I say as I twist the seashell key ring hanging from the ignition of the golf cart. And I have to go to the library. The library? That's way over by the cove. Mom's eyebrows knit together, and I'm sure she's picturing me splatted out in front of Sadie's house or something. It's fine, Mom, it's not that far away, and I promise to stay on the side streets. She sighs. I wish your dad never bought those carts, but all right, be careful. Of course, I tell her before I roll down the driveway. I'm going to hit the library first to rent some movies, and then the bank to finally deposit the money I made on Bubby's dog birthday party. And last of all, Mark's makes cakes, since V flat out refuses to set foot in there again. What I really should be doing is a marathon read of the last 2 books on my summer reading list, but Sadie's been staying home with Izzy all week, so without me, it would have been just Becca and V getting everything ready. Because we finally booked another party. I don't know if booked is the right word, since even though Becca's been chatting up every single weekly who comes to the visitor center, and V made this awesome page full of pictures and captions from the parties we've already done to include with the flyers. And Sadie's been making calls to everyone we know who has a birthday coming up this month. No one's actually booked us for anything. Until last night when I got a text from Bubby. Lo, baby, my life is over. Since she's 72 years old, when she says something like that, I kind of picture her in the hospital. What happened? Where are you? I typed back. My apartment, but I'm so sad. Mr. V is moving on. Mr. V is in the hospital? No, I wish he was, though, because then I'd still have a chance with him, she wrote. What are you talking about? He's moving to Scotland. Oh. And that's when Bubby had the bright idea that if Sandpiper Active Senior Living, meaning her, threw Mr. Vernon a going-away party, then he might notice her and realize how wonderful she is and change his mind. Guess who she wanted to plan the party? So I know I should feel grateful that we have another party. It just feels as if it doesn't count because Bubby is my family. That's like if you paint some amazing work for the elementary school charity art auction. I feel all proud about hanging it up in the school gym, and then your mother buys it. And yes, that happened. May 2nd, 3 years ago. The painting is still hanging in our living room. It's practically the only non-boat thing in the room. I roll into the square, careful to look in all directions, just in case Mom's stats on golf carts are correct. And then turn right around Merlin and the gazebo and toward Lava Java and the bridge. Lo, wait! Becca comes running from the visitor center, her sparkly red purse flying out behind her. I pull in front of Lava Java and wait for Becca. Phew! I'm so glad you're here. I have to get to the photo counter at the pharmacy to print these pictures for the collages. Our printer's dead, and Dad's using the one at the visitor center to print out a gazillion and two flyers about the Founders Day stuff next month. Plus, I have to buy all the stuff to make the collages. So where are you going? Becca leans on the golf cart and waits for me to answer. The library first. I check the time on my phone. 10:15. I have to move if I'm going to make it to all my stops and back across the island to the marina before noon. Awesome sauce. We can stop at the pharmacy on the way. She slips into the passenger seat of the golf cart and tucks her purse between her feet, then looks at me like she can't figure out why I'm not driving yet. No, I can't drive friends, remember? I wait for her to get out, but she doesn't budge. Come on, Lauren, you're a really, really good driver, and the pharmacy isn't that far away. And besides, how am I supposed to carry all those pictures and glue and construction paper and markers on my bike? Please? She widens her eyes and blinks them like she's going to cry big fat tears if I don't agree. I can't, I'm sorry. If my parents see, I'll be dead. Your dad's at the marina, right? Yes, he's got some contractors coming at 11 to look at replacing part of the dock. And your mom is home. She was up all night at the hospital. Wait, I see where she's going with this, and I fell right into it. So how in the world are your parents going to see us riding around if we don't go anywhere near your house or the marina? Becca straightens her shoulders, lifts her chin, and gives me her best toothy grin. You know I hate it when you do this. I grip the steering wheel and try to figure out how to get Becca off the golf cart. What? Letting your BFF finally ride in this seriously amazing set of wheels? Giving all you've got to our business? Driving past cute guys with our hair flying in the wind? Becca's already scanning the square for boys. No breaking the rules, and this thing only goes about 20 miles an hour, so not much is going to be flying in any wind. I promise I'll give you all the rides you want in my future cherry red convertible. Now let's go. Becca pulls a pair of big sunglasses and a filmy-looking white scarf from her purse. She ties the scarf around her head, puts on the sunglasses, and then sits there like some kind of black and white movie star. Right, I say as I shake my boring, non-scarfed, non-sunglassed head and aim the golf cart around the square. Hi, Linny. Becca gives Linny, who's just coming out of Lava Java, a little finger wave like you see the beauty queens do in parades. Becca, shh! I hit the gas pedal to try and move a little faster. What? You know, we're totally making Linny jealous. I can't wait to tell V. And Linny might tell her mom, who might tell my mom. I just want to go to the library and get this over with. What exactly is V up to? I thought she was doing the collages and you were in charge of getting food from the deli, I say as we roll down Live Oak Drive past the little souvenir and fudge shops. Oh, that. Becca giggles, which is super annoying. I hate it when I don't know what's going on. What's going on? I demand. I thought that if V was in charge of food, she'd see how she could make something so much more yummy than anything she can get at the deli. I wouldn't be surprised at all if she decided to make all the food at our next party. Hey, look, there's Lance and his mom. Hey, can we stop? Hi, Lance. Becca gives him her movie star wave as we slowly roll by Terrific Teeth, the only dentist's office around. We can't stop. Too much to do. And before you ask, no, we are not doing a Ryan drive-by either. Becca ducks her head to study her lap. Strange. What's up? Are you over Ryan or something? Or something, Becca says. Her voice sounds kind of funny. What did I miss? Nothing. Why? Now she sounds a little defensive. Everything's fine. Seriously. Just yesterday, he came into the visitor center looking for a place to buy paint for his aunt's shed, and I wrote him out directions to Whitmore's. No biggie. And then you offered to lend him your incredible eye for design and in helping him pick out paint colors, of course, right? Becca punches me in the arm. Very funny. She tilts her head. Although I really do have an eye for color. She shakes her head. But nah. I take my eyes off the road for just a millisecond and glance sideways at her. Where is my Becca and when can I see her again? Becca giggles. Don't be a dork. Okay, new subject. If we can't stop to talk to anyone, can we at least find some tunes? Does this thing have a place to plug in my phone? I have a new playlist on it. You'll love. Becca, it's a golf cart. I think you're supposed to be quiet on a golf course. Hey, you know how you could be helpful? Quiz me with my flashcards in my backpack. Becca makes a face. No way. This is called having fun, Lo. Enjoy it already. Right. Fun. I can do this. But okay, I admit the parties are fun. Not the driving around to stores with an illegal, according to the rules by Mom, passenger, or going to bakeries owned by the mother of the snootiest girl in town, but the actual parties with my friends. I'm completely worn out from running all over the place in a golf cart with Becca, and then working the afternoon at the marina. So I'm ready to at least try to relax and have fun when I open the door to the party room at Senior Living that evening. Then I see Bubby. Becca. I snag her sleeve as she's arranging the photo collages she made on a table. Can you talk some sense into Bubby? Do you see what she's wearing? Becca shrugs. I think she looks cute. That's when I realize that Becca and Bubby are pretty much dressed the same. Red plaid skirt that looks like a kilt, white button-down top, and a little hat with a pom-pom. The only difference is that Becca has her red hair in 2 braids sticking out from under her hat, and Bubby's hat rests on over-curled white hair. Okay, alright, just breathe, Lauren. Who cares what they're wearing? It's a Scotland-themed party, after all. And then I see Sadie, who's got on a green plaid skirt and a matching pom-pom hat. Sadie spies me and zooms over. Lauren, why aren't you dressed up? I didn't realize we had to do the kilt thing too. I thought it was just for the guests. Sadie shakes her head and sighs like I'm completely and utterly hopeless at throwing parties with silly themes. Look, I hold up the bags I'm carrying. I brought a cake with a Loch Ness Monster on it, bagpipe-shaped cutouts to hang up, and some movie with Mel Gibson called Braveheart. I had to make these cutouts, you know. It's not like any place in Sandpiper Beach sells bagpipe cutouts. Skull and crossbones cutouts? Yes. Lighthouse cutouts? Definitely. But bagpipes? No way. Perfect. Now, let me just put this on you so you don't look like you wandered into the wrong party. Sadie wraps a plaid sash diagonally over my shoulder and ties it at my waist. Becca's face turns a little green when she sees how awful the plaid goes with my pink shirt. Sadie steps back, squints at me, and then pulls a pom-pom hat from a bag behind her. You need a tam, she says. No, Becca takes the bags from my hands as Sadie slaps the tam on my head. I adjust the thing so it's not falling over my eyes. Hey, do you think your mom will finally be able to make it today? Nope. Sadie makes a face. This one's my fault, though. Since I'm not working for her anymore, I keep forgetting to look at her wedding calendar. She's actually had a wedding on the books for today since last fall. Bummer, Becca says, her arms full of the stuff I brought. Sorry, Sades, I add. Yeah, well, it's still going to be a great event, right? Sadie takes the movie and starts setting up the video equipment we borrowed from the visitor center. Usually, the TV shows a loop of the best of Sandpiper Beach and surrounding scenic Sandpiper County. Becca makes an appearance in the background about halfway through, leading a tour as the Dread Pirate. She swears it's Pete. Not her, but everyone can see her hair sticking out from under the pirate bandana. I'm standing there wondering if I can talk Bubby into some normal clothes, and whether I can get away with hiding my pom-pom hat behind the boxes of bingo cards in the nearest shelf when I hear my name. Psst, Lauren. Bee's calling me from the back door, aka the Great Dog Escape door. I push my hair forward to cover at least part of the plaid sash and go help V, who is also wearing a plaid skirt. Really? Am I the only one who didn't get the message? I ask. What? She's only half paying attention to me, and then I see why. She's got the handle of a little red wagon in her hand, and the wagon is full of aluminum foil-wrapped dishes. And I'm completely stunned. V is such an amazing cook, but is totally shy about it. V, did you make all this? What's in here? I can't wait to try it. No, geez, will everyone just lay off the cooking thing? This is from the deli. She bites her lip. Okay, fine, I might have made some crab dip. It's in the cooler, but don't make a big deal out of it, all right? I can't help the smile that spreads across my face. So you need help getting it in? I could have brought it in with the golf cart, you know, so that you didn't have to walk with it. I seriously cannot wait to try that dip. Maybe I can sneak some as we're setting up the food table. I'll have to grab some for Zach, too. Crab dip is his absolute favorite. I can hold it hostage till he agrees to return the movie to the library for me. I only walked from the deli. Mrs. Sanders next door let me borrow her kid's wagon, and she gave me a ride there, on her way to pick up her son. V pulls the wagon in as I hold the door open. As I help her unload and uncover the food, V keeps making comments like, "Why didn't they offer a vegetarian stew?" And "Where's the haggis? How can you have a moving to Scotland party without serving haggis?" I want to tell her that there'd be plenty of vegetarian stew and haggis, yuck, if she had made the rest of the food. Sorry. But I stay quiet. Making crab dip for a big group of people is a huge step for V. When everything's set up, and after I sneak a taste of the dip, I plop into a chair in the corner to memorize vocab words while we wait for the guests to show up. "What are Anna and McKenna doing here?" Sadie asks as I'm committing to memory the definition of collaborate, to cooperate or work together. I shrug. Maybe they're visiting their grandparents and got lost. I wave at Anna, who's on the It's All Academic team with me at school. Sadie stops rearranging chairs that were perfect the first time. They're dressed up. Sure enough, Anna's got on a tartan skirt and McKenna looks like she's borrowed a huge plaid shirt from her dad. I put my flashcards down as they make their way toward us. "This is the party, right?" Anna asks. Sadie blinks at her. "Yes." "See, I told you we'd be too early." "Hey, there's food. I'm starving." McKenna zooms toward V and the food table. "So, did your grandparents invite you?" It's the only logical conclusion I can come up to. Why else would two girls from our class show up at a senior's going-away party? Anna laughs. "No, silly. Bubsters 3000 invited us on Twitter. Who is she, anyway? Wait, are y'all throwing this party?" She tilts her head and studies me as if she's never seen me before. "Are you Bubsters 3000? "No," I say with as much emphasis as possible. "RSVP's doing the party," Sadie adds, "and I saw that invite from Bubsters 3000, but I didn't pay any attention to it since it was for the same day as this party. I didn't realize that it was this party, but how? I'm pretty sure I know who Bubsters 3000 is." I leave Sadie with Anna and march toward Bubby, who's talking to two older ladies who have just arrived. "Maybe if I give him a locket with a picture of me inside," she's saying to her friends. "No, too old school. How about a cell phone with an album full of my pictures?" "Excuse me," I say. "Bubby, can I talk to you for a minute?" "Of course, Milo. See you gals later." Bubby waves at them with just the tips of her fingers like she's pageant queen. Or Becca in the golf cart. When we're out of earshot, I leap right in. "Bubsters 3000? Bubby giggles. "That's my Twitter name. Aren't you following me?" "Is it horrible if you don't follow your own grandmother on Twitter?" "It's not like I really have time to check my feed. It's Twitter, not Tweeter, and why are there girls from my class here?" And just as I ask that, I spot a group of guys near the door. I squint and realize they're Zach's friends. Becca's already welcoming them with extra Tams. What in the world? "Oh, them," Bubby says with a wave of her hand. "I sent a Tweeter note to everyone I could find who had Sandpiper Beach in their profile." She puts her hands on her hips. "You'd know that if you followed me." But I gesture sort of uselessly at another bunch of kids coming through the door. "Why? I thought this was Mr. Vernon's party." "He's moving to be with his grandkids. I thought he'd appreciate having more than a bunch of oldsters at this hullabaloo. I need to go welcome them." Bubby gives me a grin and makes her way toward the closest group of girls. "Hey, yo, girlfriends." "Lauren?" Sadie grabs me by the arm. "What's going on? We're not ready for this many people." "There's not enough food, that's for sure," V adds from behind Sadie. Before I can answer, Becca jogs over to join us. "Lance said he got a Twitter invitation from someone named Bubsters 3000. Everyone's saying that. Wait, how come I didn't get an invitation?" Her lower lip juts out like she's super sad about my grandmother not inviting her to a kilt-wearing old people party. "Lance is here." V's face goes a little pale. "It's Bubby." I tell them. "She went a little crazy and invited the whole town on Twitter." "Bubby's on Twitter? I didn't know," Becca says, like that's the most important thing I just said. Sadie looks as if she's about to hyperventilate. V keeps throwing these worried glances at the food table, and Becca's practically bouncing on her toes, trying to see who else has arrived. And what can we do? Nothing, that's what. Bubby wanted a giant party, and now she's got one. All the seniors seem to be rolling with it. The two ladies Bubby was talking to earlier are chattering away with Anna and McKenna, but some of the kids don't look too sure. Zach's friends are grouped in a corner, and some 6th grade girls are standing with their arms crossed and frowning like they just walked into a math class instead of a party. "We need to start fast," I tell my friends, "or Bubby's gonna lose half her party." "They've pretty much demolished the food," Becca says. "Okay, let me think." Sadie presses her hands to either side of her face and surveys the crowd. We are all quiet for a minute until V pipes up. There's a kitchen, right? She asks. On the other side of the dining room. I point to the doors that lead from the party to the dining room. You're going to make something! Becca claps her hands. V turns red. No, there's not enough time anyway. I'm going to see if they have any snacks we can buy. Chips and salsa, that kind of thing. I know that isn't Scottish, Sades, but we need more food. V runs toward the kitchen, and Sadie shoves some note cards into my hands. Lauren, can you do the welcome? Becca, you try to gather everyone toward Lauren, and I'll go see if we have any music that isn't so bagpipey. Wait, I call after Sadie, but she's disappeared into the crowd with Becca. Okay, well, I climb into a chair and look at the note cards. Excuse me. Everyone just keeps talking. Where's V and her whistle when I need her? Luckily, Bubby spies me from across the room. She cups her hands to her mouth and yells, Hey, my peeps! Hush up and listen to Lolo already. The room goes silent and everyone's staring at me. Okay, this is uncomfortable. I check the first note card. Welcome, everyone, to Mr. Vernon's going away party. The seniors clap politely and the kids just look at me. I clear my throat and smile. Och, ye kin, Mr. Vernon is moving to old Scotland to be with his son and daughter-in-law, their wee bairns. Seriously, who wrote the stuff? Why didn't Sadie give the cards to Becca, the actress in training? I can barely even read this. Aye, so tonight we lads and lassies are going to have a better of a good time. Someone hoots from the back of the room, one of Zach's friends, I think. And all the seniors join in. I squint at the note card. What Sadie's written next doesn't even look like English. I shove the cards into my pocket and say in my normal voice, Now Mr. V's friends can share their favorite memories. The seniors move toward the chairs, just in time, V arrives with a cartload of food. The kids head straight for the Jell-O cups and kosher dill pickles. That'll keep them busy for a while, but we'll have to think of something else soon. Sadie goes to rescue V, and Becca guides an elderly woman to a seat near Mr. Vernon. I turn my attention to the seniors. Bubby nearly leaps out of her seat when I ask who wants to start. Oh, Mr. V, she says, fluttering her eyelashes, I'll never forget when you came to the Moonlight Mix-It-Up and asked me to dance. Maybe we can reenact that tonight, I know all the latest moves. Mr. Vernon coughs a little and squirms in his seat. Oh, I hear Becca say just under her breath right next to me. So, thanks, Bubby. Who's next? I ask really quickly before Bubby can say anything else. A tall, thin man with barely any hair stands up. Charlie, you remember when we were on that big fishing excursion? You swore you'd catch the biggest mackerel, but whoo boy, you couldn't catch much of nothing over 3 inches. The whole group, including Mr. V, bursts into laughter. And then Ginny lost her lunch over the side, remember that? One woman says. Becca grabs one of the photo collages off the table and hands it to Mr. Vernon. He starts laughing so hard he can barely catch his breath. Who took this picture? I peek over his shoulder and see the one in the middle of the collage. It's Mr. Vernon proudly holding up the world's tiniest mackerel while a round little old woman leans over the side of the boat behind him. Another person, not in the shot, is giving him bunny ears. It reminds me of all the silly pictures I have of my friends. Thank you all for this, he says. I'll never forget such a great group of folks. As they continue to tell stories, I look around at my friends. Becca's laughing along with the seniors. V's making sure all the kids have something to eat, and Sadie catches my eye and gives me a thumbs up. I can't imagine moving to another country and leaving them behind. Who would listen to me complain about my brothers the way Sadie does? Without V, I'd have to collect shells by myself and eat store-bought pita chips, and Becca's always the one making me try new things. But one day I will move away. Not for a few years, and probably not to Scotland, but still. When that time comes, I won't have my best friends around to hang out in a dirty old yacht or light candles on the beach. I get what Bubby was talking about now, and it makes me want to keep this moment going for as long as I can. Sadie couldn't find anything that wasn't Scottish, Becca says as we watch Sadie mute the movie on the visitor center seat TV. And it's not like this place has any kind of dock to play music from our phones. Bagpipes are better than nothing, I guess. The food's pretty much gone, and the kids are standing around like they're waiting for something to happen. Some kind of jig blasts from the stereo. Becca and I push the chairs out of the way, and our group of seniors, Buggy right in front, pulls Mr. Vernon to his feet. They jump right into dancing, laughing, and talking the whole time, but none of the kids move at all. Zach's friends are headed toward the door again. This isn't good. Not only would Bubby be upset that her party is a bust, but RSVP's reputation wouldn't be so great if everyone checks out early. What can we do? Becca asks. I'm racking my brains when the last person I expected to see at this party walks through the door. Zach. Great. I really want my brother to be here to witness this disaster of a party. I only have one idea, and it'll either save the whole thing or make me laughingstock of Sandpiper Beach Middle School. I don't have time to lay out the pros and cons. I just have to do it. For Bubby, for my friends, and for RSVP, and for myself. I yank the note cards from my pocket, toss them into my backpack in the corner. Let's dance, I yell to Becca as I race through the jig-dancing seniors to grab Sadie and V. What are you doing? I don't know how to dance. V gets this panicked look on her face. Neither do I. Who cares? Let's just have fun and maybe save this party. I try to follow what the seniors are doing, but end up stepping on Sadie's heels. Lauren, you are officially the worst bagpipe dancer ever, Sadie says over the music. I know! With that, I grab her hands and start spinning in a big circle. Everyone backs out of the way, clapping in time to the music. A lot of the kids have joined the group now, some of them clapping, others sort of staring at me, which makes sense, since I'm not exactly the dance in the middle of a crowd kind of girl. But I think about Mr. Vernon moving away and about Bubby and Alma, and I don't care. Right now, I just want to have fun with my best friends. Go, Lo! Go, Sadie! Becca yells. We spin and spin until we're laughing so hard and my pom-pom hat flies off, and we're dizzy that we fall into a heap on the floor. Lauren? Zach's standing over me, holding out a hand. What are you doing? I scramble up and do a little jig kind of move, or what I think is a jig kind of move since I've never really done one before. Dancing, come on! He blinks at me. Look, if I'm dancing, so can you. This is Bubby's party. We owe it to her to make it good. If you dance, then maybe everyone else will too. My breath comes out all huffy since I'm not really used to this much exercise. Zach glances at his friends, then he laughs, but he's not laughing at me. All right, but not to this music. I've got a dock in my car. I want to hug him, but that would be weird, so instead I tell him thanks. When he comes back and plugs in some normal music, the party really starts. I dance and dance and dance with my friends until it feels like my feet will fall off. A little later, while Becca's having a heart-to-heart with Bubby, who's all distraught about Mr. V leaving and how he hasn't gone for her Moonlight Mix-It-Up reenactment, I'm eating chip crumbs with V and Sadie when I feel someone over my shoulder. The seniors loved V's dip and have been coming up and asking for the recipe all night. I pull out the pen for her to write it down again when the person speaks. But it's not one of the seniors. Instead, it's a staff member from Sandpiper Active Senior Living. Hi, girls. I was wondering if you had a card or anything. You see, my daughter wants this crazy birthday party, and it's going to require a lot of energy. And, well, you certainly seem to have that. And you look like you're having so much fun. Would you be interested in maybe planning her party? Sadie jumps out of her chair and hands the woman our business card. Of course, we'd love to. Great. I'll be in touch. The woman takes the card and leaves, and Sadie lets out a squeal. Then she looks at me. Thank you, Lauren. For what? For joining and actually having fun with it, and then working so hard to pull it off. I thought we were goners when all those kids from school showed up, but together we figured it out, and I think you're the reason why that woman wants us to do her kid's party. Sadie throws her arms around me, and V gives me a high five at the same time. Really? Who knew that letting yourself go like that could actually make you look more professional? Absolutely. RSVP is back. So we celebrate by dancing, of course. Chapter 15. Becca. Daily love horoscope for Scorpio. Falling stars aren't the only keepers of wishes. You have more power than you realize to make your dreams come true. Who wants to check Wikipedia? Someone, somewhere, has to have figured out a way to get into a sleeping bag on the beach without filling the bottom with enough sand to build an enormous castle. I huff my hair out of my eyes and dump my bag. Again. Almost like the beach is laughing at me, the wind shoots most of the sand straight back into my face. V giggles. Of course, she is completely in her beachy girl element. She probably brings sand in at night and puts it in her bed on purpose so she can feel all at home while she sleeps. Lauren and Sadie are on the other side of me, having the same epic battle with nature. This had better be worth it. This is going to be so worth it, Sadie says, almost like she read my mind. I can't believe all our parents signed off on this. Well, now that V's living right here, it's really no different than when we have sleepovers in our yards, said Lauren. Yeah, except if sharing a fence with cranky old Mr. Nelson, V gets to share her backyard with dolphins, Sadie says. And sand, I mumble, tossing my bag into a crumpled heap. I give up. But secretly, I really do think it will be worth any amount of scratchy sand in between my toes tonight, because for the first time ever, our parents are letting us stay out all night on the beach to watch the Perseid meteor shower. The meteor shower, also known as the night of a gazillion shooting stars, and also known as the night of a gazillion wishes on shooting stars, always happens the second week in August. When I was really little, Mama and Daddy would wake me up in the dead middle of the night, the best time to see the meteors, to watch some of it, but usually I just fell back asleep on Daddy's shoulder. Last year, I was allowed to stay up for it, but I crashed out in bed waiting for it to start, and nobody woke me back up. Grr. But this year I not only get to stay up, I get to stay up with my best friends at a sleepover on the beach. Hello? Perfection-ish? And only ish because of the sand in the sleeping bag dilemma. Because of the sea turtle light restrictions, plus how far away we are from any major cities. Despite how my mom tries to spin it, I do not count Wilmington as major. There's a zip-zero light pollution at Sandpiper Beach. For the record, light pollution sounds way less icky than other kinds of pollution. That means we can see stars from one end of the horizon all the way to the other all year round. But it especially means we have amazing views of shooting stars. And yes, Lauren would say they are meteors, which I actually know, but since they look like shooting stars, I'm so completely going with it. Does anyone want any more V s'mores? Sadie asks. Our parents drew the line at the campfire, so V invented these cold s'mores cookie bar things that are possibly for real even better than the actual thing. Hand them over, I order. We chomp for a while, then take new stabs at getting into our bags. Finally, I accept that the sand is so totally gonna win this one. We're quiet for a bit, listening to the waves crash in the dark and staring at the stars. I try not to blink while I wait, sorta kinda, patiently, for the first streak of light across the sky. I'm just starting to get all mellow and I'm just a tiny fleck in the giant universe existentially way when Sadie says, so, do y'all think we should go boy band or single act? All three of us turn our heads to her. Huh? I say at the same time as Lauren and V say, what? For the party next week, Sadie answers. Sadie, all three of us groan. Do you ever think of anything besides RSVP? I ask. Yes, Sadie answers, and she sounds a teeny bit defensive. Whoops, hit a nerve. But next week is our last full week off of school, which means this is probably the last party of the summer, and I don't know about y'all, but I want to go out with a bang. We haven't talked at all about what happens to RSVP when the summer ends. I think we're just assuming it'll end too. I pretty much am, because I know Lauren will never be on board with anything that interferes with her 4.1 gazillion grade point average, and V plays soccer, so I doubt we'd even have time for it anyway. So last hurrah it is. Bex, I'm counting on you, Sadie says. This is right up your alley. What, just because it's music themed? Lauren laughs. I think more because it's boy band crush themed. I do not crush on boy bands, I screech, then mumble anymore under my breath. V elbows me through her bag. So are you saying you do not practice kissing on the poster of Tre Pestas that hangs on the back of your door? I elbow her back harder than she elbowed me. Oh my gosh, seriously, y'all? I haven't kissed that poster in like 6 months. I barely even look at it anymore. No one needs to know that I had Daddy paint my bedroom walls the exact greenish blue as Tre's eyes to match the poster. My friends just don't appreciate a true musical artist when they see one. I decide to switch the subject from Tre. So what are we thinking? 8-year-old girls and a boy band theme, right? So clearly all the girls need to dress like they're going to a rock concert. Rock star chick. They'll obviously know what that means, right? Or they could wear boy band t-shirts. I could probably find 1 or 2 from my old One Direction night shirts to donate to the cause. V snickers. 1 or 2? I ignore her and keep talking. Oh my gosh, and we can for real have to get all of them sunglasses to wear. They can be the favors and like autograph books for the fake band to sign. And man, it would be so awesome if we had a real fake band. Lauren chimes in. Actually, real fake would be oxymoron. That's when Lauren, V yells, and her shout echoes across the empty beach. No vocabulary lessons. Let us enjoy our last 10 days of freedom. Sadie is quieter when she says, well, the idea